This is a Headgum original.
Jake and Amir, two Jews that you can't forget. In 2010, they were big on the internet. And all things considered, their success is more than fair. Now here's one more effort for only positive motivations, they swear. Segment. Another podcast. Segment. Each app different from the last. Segment. It's the Swiss Army knife of shows. Meet your two emphatic hosts. Segment.
Yeah, buddy. Yes, dude.
How are you feeling?
A little stressed because we had a lot of issues with recording.
Yeah.
The Zoom was making a buzzing noise, and I tried every single variable to solve it, and I literally couldn't. And then I left the room, and it was fine. So the final variable, the room itself, was the issue.
Were you in the Wi-Fi corridor, the one room in New York City where it's a hub of every different
all
signal?
Of the signals come,
Ghostbusters style.
Right. Yeah,
so
exactly.
When you go in there, it's
the
actually
fulcrum.
Like, it's Chernobyl. You're actually aging.
I was melting.
I can't
now
tell
it makes
why.
sense.
Oh.
So yeah, I kind of left, like when you're trying to figure something out and you just, everything falls by the wayside. So I was so singularly focused on this Zoom that there's like open battery packs, different XLR cables, two microphones, two Zooms, SD cards, and
a trial and error of sorts.
So now I'm in the studio with my phone on a bucket on a C-stand, sitting down, and it's somewhere along the way I've lost my coffee, which is definitely top of mind.
It was actually the coffee that was creating the buzz. That's why you're not hearing it.
Yeah, it could have been. It wasn't consumed. So I wish you weren't hearing it because I drank the coffee, but it's only because I left it in a different room.
This is actually the perfect energy for not only segments, our advice podcast, which is
not really
not
an
advice podcast anymore,
yeah.
but also our favorite segment of segments, poetry or noetry.
Yes, that's right. I need to calm down. I need to center myself.
Yes.
And the only thing that can do that for me is the written word.
Right.
They are poems themselves, folks. I've found two wonderful poems.
Yep.
And I wrote a third piece of shit poem that actually sucks ass unless you like it. Then it was then it's a great poem, and I tried really hard, and if you didn't like it, then I farted it out in no time.
And the goal of the game is for me to not know which poem is real and which one is yours.
Yes, these are two poems by poets and one poem by this jackass.
And is this your fourth attempt or third attempt?
I believe this is number 4.
Okay.
Because on the third attempt, I did get you with a poem titled February, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
February stumped you.
Yeah.
And I got you twice, and you fooled me on the third attempt with your poems. So
Ends
it's actually
well yet,
which is a great poem.
Ha'un walked so that ends well yet could, what's it called?
Trot.
No, hopscotch across chalk top
towers.
shops. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Ha'un has grown on me, I'll say. Okay, so I am going to read you these 3 poems. What order do you want me to go in? Do you want me to give you my poem first?
Let's do your poem middle.
Okay, all right, perfect.
And remember, you guys could totally play along at home.
Yes, and you should.
Okay.
The first poem is called This Room.
Yours. Next.
Really? Because I've been so room focused.
Okay, this room.
This room. The room I entered was a dream of this room. Surely all those feet on the sofa were mine. The oval portrait of a dog was me at an early age. Something shimmers, something is hushed up. We had macaroni for lunch every day.
You love
except
macaroni.
Sunday.
You love macaroni and cheese.
We had macaroni for lunch every day, except Sunday, when a small quail was induced to be served to us. Why do I tell you these things? You are not even here.
I really think that one's yours, but I want to hear the other two.
Okay, that poem is called This Room.
Okay.
This poem is called Poem to be Read at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Excepting the diner on the outskirts, the town of Ladora at 3 a.m. was dark but for my headlights. And up in one second-story room, a single light where someone was sick or perhaps reading as I drove past at 70, not thinking. This poem is for whoever had the light on.
Also, could be yours. That's the joy of the game. You love fucking America pastoral. I see a gas station in the distance. I'm in
diner,
a car.
road
it's
trip.
A diner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gas station at Gloaming. Yeah. That is my shit.
Okay.
Poem number 3. What he saw. Zhang He saw the world.
Zhang He! This is a Ha-Un parody. Zhang He saw the world.
Zhang He saw the world.
How dare you? How dare you use this against me? Zhang He.
Yes. Zhang He played Foursquare on the recess blacktop.
Handball, clip clap, bing bang bong boom.
Right. What he saw. Zhang He saw the world, turn the ashes to crown jewels. He brought back ivory, sandalwood, and half his men. 600 years later, beside the same ocean, clouds gathering like 300 ships at full sail, coming home. The gem of your eye catches mine, that piratical gleam, a double-edged smile. Like Zhang He, you believe this world is yours, and so am I.
I wish one popped out at me more.
Mm-hmm.
They're all pretty equally poems.
You don't want to say good? You're okay. You're just gonna say they're poems. They're all poems.
But like when I read some, you're like, that one moved me. None of these like moved me. They all seemed like kind of like House on Mango Street style, if you remember that. It's just like, this is a story about a guy or girl doing a thing or two.
I think they're all incredibly moving, but yes, I'm at least glad that you're confused because you're not stirred to emotion by any of them.
But honestly, the first one, and this is what got me last time, I'm like, this one's yours, this one's yours. And at the last second, I changed my fucking mind. And it was the one that I thought was yours the whole time. Which speaks to me like that is the first one that you read, called The Room.
This Room, actually.
This Room, okay. Read that one again, and I'll tell you why that one's yours.
The room I entered was a dream of this room. Surely all those feet on the sofa were mine. The oval portrait of a dog was me at an early age. Something shimmers, something is hushed up. We had macaroni for lunch every day, except Sunday, when a small quail was induced to be served to us. Why do I tell you
induced to be served? That's not a fucking sentence. A small
Let me finish the poem.
Was induced
Let me finish
to be
the poem.
served. Okay.
Why do I tell you these things? You are not even here.
Okay. So the only thing that's making me not think it's that one is so you that like you found it and you're like, ooh, Amir will think it's that one. Because I talk about macaroni and I talk about a room and I talk about fucking an oval picture of a dog that reminds me of me.
Yes.
Which is similarly to the Zhang He one, which is kind of a fucking wink and a nod. I guess you found an Asian American's name and you thought this would be funny to sort of muddy the water. Or it's a reversal in which you actually did write a Ha-Un poem just to fool me, because if I didn't guess it and it isn't, then I've been fooled by my own Ha-Un.
Yeah.
Then I've been tricked by my own game.
So are you going to rule out poem to be read at 3 a.m.?
Which is the second one, which is another one that reminded me of yours because it's like the diner and the light and the fucking this and that and the other. Okay, read that second one. Let's see if I can eliminate it.
Poem to be read at 3 a.m. Excepting the diner on the outskirts, the town of Ledora at 3 a.m. was dark but for my headlights. And up in one second-story room, a single light where someone was sick or perhaps reading as I drove past at 70, not thinking. This poem is for whoever had the light on.
Yeah. There's two ways to eliminate it. It's like poems that have a line or a word where like, oh, you would never use that word. And then there's one, it's like, oh, that was definitely you because you did use that word.
Mm-hmm.
So none of these have things where I'm like, that's not a word you would know. The induce the quail thing keeps coming back to me. We have macaroni every day except for Sundays where we induced a quail or a quail
when a
was
small
induced.
Quail was induced to be served to
us. Okay. Let me eliminate one.
Okay.
If I may be so bold, I will say Zhang He is a real poem.
It's a
True
real
or
poem.
False? It's a real poem. Okay.
What he saw
was a real poem.
Written by, it's a real poem written by me. Yeah.
You wrote Zhang He?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And just so you know, it wasn't a Ha-Un ripoff.
It absolutely was. It was an Asian name.
An Asian. He's a Chinese explorer from 1400. Okay?
Zhang He?
Yes, because I'll tell you the whole entire story of Zhang.
I've been Ha-Un'd.
You've been Ha-Un'd. Well, you didn't. You didn't get Ha-Un'd because I got Ha-Un and you didn't get Zhang He.
I thought you were trying to do a double reverse where it's like, I'm going to give him a real poem named Zhang He.
That was an added,
it.
That was an added benefit to my real poem. I was like, he's going to get tripped up by the Asian name of it all.
Yeah.
But the impetus was that the line came to me, and I believe the line in my head at first was Magellan saw the world, because I wanted to write something about like, the world as an explorer saw it. Mm-hmm. So then I just searched explorers. And sure enough,
Ha-Un is one of them. Zhang He saw the world. All right, so now let's
15
hear it.
Famous explorers who changed the world. There are Marco Polo, Zhang He, Henry the Navigator, Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama. These are all people you learned about in school.
Except for Zhang. And doesn't that say it all?
It really does. So he
Unbelievable.
is
I thought
Chinese
I'd be able
explorer.
to eliminate one and we could flip a coin. I was leaning towards the first one anyway.
You were.
Okay,
that's a poem by John Ashbery. Well, I'll read it to you, but I want to go through it line by line because I'll say that I'm massively proud of Zhang He. Like I tried really hard with this poem.
That's
way
good.
Harder than I have with any other poems before.
Well, it shows because I was so certain that was a real one.
Yeah. What he saw. Zhang He saw the world, turned the ashes to crown jewels. He brought back ivory, sandalwood, and half his men. 600 years later, beside the same ocean, clouds gathering like 300 ships at full sail coming home. The gem of your eye catches mine, that piratical gleam, a double-edged smile. Like Zhang He, you believe this world is yours, and so am I. It's beautiful. What is it about Zhang He that's just the perfect poem? First, tell me what you loved about it, because you thought, like, what made you think that's it? That's the real poem. That's a real poem from a real poet.
Honestly, all I remember is hearing Zhang He, and I'm like, I'm out on that one. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Now that I hear it again, I guess I get that crown jewels and then the gem, aka Gemma of your eye. So I'm like, okay, that should have been a dead giveaway.
Almost changed that to pearl, but then I was like, why don't I leave it in? Because he might hear gem and think that I wouldn't use such a clue to tip him off.
Exactly, which is what I thought about Zhang He, aka Ha-Un, aka crown jewel.
I'd love to go over some of the
And you also love nautical
iterations.
themes. You love boats and shit.
That's right. So and like, let's talk about what he saw. It sounds like I'm talking about what like a man saw. What he saw, but it's actually Zhang He or Zhang He.
What Zhang He saw.
What Zhang He saw the world. And then also I say he brought back ivory sandalwood. Like he brought it back, but also he, very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think about
it. It
that
is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and then
I didn't say
the clouds gathering, like 300 ships at full sail coming home. You really picture
you love
that
fucking
coming
boats and
in.
Shit. You love fucking the
I also
Navy
did a little,
theme.
I did a little research on Zhang He.
And ivory and sandalwood.
Yes,
and
so I
like
Googled,
that.
so I searched what did he bring back.
Yeah.
I actually did look up what he brought back.
Yeah.
And then I also searched how many ships he brought. So 300 ships at full sail coming home, the clouds gathering as you're standing there, but like you're watching he's armada coming home. I mean, that's just gorgeous. And then the gleam in someone's eye, a piratical smile, double-edged smile, like a double-edged sword, while he is a pirate, or at least that type of explorer. I mean, there's just something so lovely, about the way these...
I just looked it up. John Ashbery wrote all three of these. Zhang He, he wrote Zhang He in college one night.
Honestly, Ashbery fucking wishes. Ashbery wishes he could write what he saw. I mean, this poem, it merges two worlds, the grand historical past that's just got this incredible scope that we couldn't even understand, with the same type of, like, the depth of a love that you might have for somebody. I think that's I just think that's so fucking moving, don't you? I'm just trying to analyze. I'm just analyzing this poem in like the most non-biased way. I know that I wrote it, so it's typical for me to.
You do
think
know
it's
that
so
you
good.
wrote it.
But
And how did you find the other two? And did you find two that you thought sounded like something you would have written?
Poem to be read at 3 a.m. Is in Garrison Keillor's book of good poems, and it's always been a poem that I really liked. And I actually didn't even consider it because the way I had it in my memory, it was much, much shorter.
Yeah.
But then I pulled it up this morning, and I was like, because I was looking for a third poem, and I saw that it was a similar length to Zhang He, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this, and I knew that you might think it was me because it has all that like it almost feels like other poems I've written really pull from this. Yeah, absolutely.
You've been inspired by this one.
And this room, I just found that this morning. I was like, I think I searched like some of the best short form contemporary poems.
And a quail was induced for it, or
this one just had it all. I really liked it, but I was also like, okay, we've got a dog portrait, we have macaroni, we have a small quail being induced, and like also
to labor.
The last line is, it's so. I feel like this is my style, where I'm trying to do something like with a turn on the last line.
Yeah, but the footsteps were always there.
Yeah, so I thought you might think it was me, but I felt pretty confident. Just in that I worked so hard on what he saw. Like I tweaked that all week.
Did you read it to Jill?
Yes, I did, and she actually helped me with it, because originally it was...
That's cheating.
He brought back cheating. ivory silk in Half His Men, but I think sandalwood really fits better. I also had 600 years later. I think I originally had 600 years later, we stand beside the same ocean, or we stand in front of the same ocean. And I was like, we gotta lose we stand. So now it's much cleaner. 600 years later, beside the same ocean. You almost aren't like, it's not as jarring, excuse me, as...
I haven't said anything in 5 minutes.
Not as jarring
Lose the
as
we
it was
stand,
originally.
just beside.
It was also originally the jewel of your eye catches mine. But I had already I put crown jewel, which that line, I'm surprised it made it all the way through, because it meant nothing. Like, it turned the ashes to crown jewels. I don't know what that is. It just kind of rolled off my tongue when I said Zhang He saw the world. And then I felt compelled to keep it. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a great poem. I had a good time writing it. And like you said, I think it's one of the better ones, or if not the best you've mentioned, that we have done on the program. And
imagine Zhang He and Ha-Un in class together.
I think you're being racist.
And Zhang He goes by Zach now.
They're different.
And
they're really different poems. They're very different poems. They're
Ha-Un
so different.
and Zhang He.
They're incredibly different poems. There's one similarity.
It's a really glaring similarity. Actually, let me write a poem for next week. I have an idea. I'm going to find 3 poems that start with 3 Asian names.
I think I won by coming up with just a fucking badass, awesome poem, and you're pissed at me.
Yeah, I at least wanted to eliminate the real one and then get it down to a fun coin toss. The fact that I eliminated yours right off the bat.
Yeah. Which I think I might have done with Ends Well Yet, right?
I think you thought, or you did the reverse. You guessed mine first, and then you got it down to 2, and then you guessed again incorrectly.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
All right. Good game.
Do you want to hear one of the other poems that I almost read?
That you wrote?
No, that I almost. Have you ever heard the Ada Limon poem?
No, of course not. I've heard of 4 poems.
Okay. Well, this one I almost read. It's just a really great poem. Ada Limon's a great poet. It's called How to Triumph Like a Girl. I like the lady horses best, how they make it all look easy. Like running 40 miles per hour is as fun as taking a nap or grass. I like their lady horse swagger after winning. Ears up, girls, ears up. But mainly, let's be honest, I like that they're ladies, as if this big, dangerous animal is also a part of me, that somewhere inside the delicate skin of my body there pumps an 8-pound female horse heart, giant with power, heavy with blood. Don't you believe it? Don't you want to lift my shirt and see the huge beating genius machine that thinks, no, it knows it's going to come in first?
That would have been a great one for me to guess as yours.
Yeah, I thought you right, because you're like, you wouldn't write something like this and present it. But I just love that poem.
Such a pro-female poem that you cranked down.
You'd have to guess. You would have to guess it was me. That was what I was banking on.
That would have been good.
And there's just one last poetry-related thing, because I wanted to read Ada Limon's The Raincoat, but I cry so hard every time I read it that I was like, and then this morning I was like, I'll test it. I'll see if I'm like still crying. And I read it, and I like not only like cry, I like choked back tears, not eyes welling up. I was like, oh my God. Oh,
what's it about?
I can't even. I'll say.
You can't even say the subject.
Well, I could say I could say what it's about, but it would. I feel like it would ruin. Everyone just has to read it. It's about it's about motherhood, I guess. Or parents.
Yeah.
Man, it's so damn good.
Okay. All right. We'll leave people with homework.
Yeah. Go read that poem and cry your eyes out.
Thank you to Helix for sponsoring this episode of our show.
Oh yeah, baby.
Your favorite mattress, Jake, you sleep on a Helix.
It's damn right. That's damn right.
So you know how comfortable it is. I assume Jill also enjoys her sleeping on a Helix.
I believe, yeah, her and her new boyfriend also sleep on a Helix.
You have a throuple situation, or it's 2 different beds?
No, she not a divorce, the separation, she got the Helix, but then I was able to get myself a different Helix. So
well, odds are you have 2 different Helixes, because they offer 20 unique mattresses. So does Todd sleep on his side, his stomach, Dino, or do they just sort of spoon?
I don't know what kind of sleeper he is. I don't even know how much sleep they're getting, or if they're just having a lot of sex or whatever. But my Helix right now, I got a studio apartment in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, there's no better way to test out a new mattress. So like if Todd wanted to give it a 100-night trial, Helix not only has that, but they also have a 10 to 15 year warranty.
He's really smart like that. He often shops for something with.
He does Taekwondo, right? He's a black belt.
Yeah, he is a black belt. I don't know where he finds the time, because he's also.
I wonder how Todd did on the Helix sleep quiz, which is just a few simple questions, and then they match your body type with the perfect mattress for you.
Yeah, well, no, he took the MCAT, so I feel like he probably was able to nail that test.
And the best part is, Helix is now offering 30% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Does Todd listen to the show?
He doesn't. I doubt
He's like,
it.
he doesn't have time for podcasts, right?
Yeah,
he calls them your little radio shows. How's your little radio shows doing?
Yeah, right. Did I tell you I have a roommate in the studio? So I have a roommate,
Ryan, right?
This guy Ryan.
Well, you or Ryan or Todd or anybody listening can go to helixsleep.com/segments. That's helixsleep.com/segments. They're offering 30% off. Oh my God, this is their best offer yet. And
finally, some good news in my life.
Yeah. And with Helix, your better sleep starts now. So do check them out. Support Jake. He needs it now more than ever.
Thank you.
That's helixsleep.com/segments.
Funny.
All right, we're back.
What was it about
Zhang He? Yeah. The devil is a lie. You misinformed me. You misled me. You led me astray. You lied to me.
I just wrote a great poem. I just wrote an all-timer. Wow. But we really should move on. You're right.
I didn't say that.
You're right. Let's just leave perfect as it lay.
As all ends well yet. Okay, this is a game you invented.
Yeah, maybe. I think I pulled it from something that. Oh, it's like a board game called Priorities, I think. But we kind of simplified it. We basically made a list of random things. Mm-hmm. This is a game called Rank 'em. Rank 'em.
Rank 'em.
So these are just random nouns, people, places, things, ideas. And I made a list of 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them to Amir, and you are going to rank them in order of the things you prefer the most to the things you prefer the least.
Okay.
These things are ghee, Paris, untoasted Pop-Tarts, going to the dentist, and Ted Lasso.
Okay. These are a few of my favorite ghee. Let's see.
When the ghee, Paris.
Untoasted Pop-Tarts. Was that inspired by the new Pop-Tart movie that's coming out, or it's unrelated to that?
I did not know there was a Pop-Tart movie coming out.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld wrote and directed a movie about the guy who invented Pop-Tarts.
Oh, all right. That sounds a lot. I thought it was like a Pac-Man type movie where it's just like, every single brand gets a movie now.
Yeah, but it sort of is, yeah. But it's not like a movie starring Pop-Tarts. It's more like the BlackBerry style, Air style. It's like a movie about the creation of something in our lifetime.
Yeah. Air, closer to Air than Barbie.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So again, it's ghee, which is some sort of butter situation. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It's like clarified butter, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Paris, which is an awesome city. There's Pop-Tarts, untoasted, not great. I used to eat Pop-Tarts growing up, but I used to toaster oven them.
Right, you have to.
Going to the
they're
dentist.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, going to the dentist, which is bad, but ultimately good because it's like, you suffer through it, but then you feel good after.
That's right.
Ted Lasso, which people love, but I don't really like it.
Yeah. Okay, so you're tipping your hand a little bit there.
A little bit. But you've already ranked which order you think I'm going to put them in.
Oh, no, I'm just assigning you the things.
Okay. So you're not, have you guessed the order?
No,
not
yet.
Doing that?
Not until you lock it in, then I'll tell you what my guess are. So write your answers separately so I don't see them, and I'm going to guess the order.
I'll put it in the Zoom chat.
But don't send it until you're ready, or until I guess.
Are any of these specifically calling out to you as great or awful?
I mean, I know what I would rank them.
Yeah. This is kind of difficult because there's so many different permutations.
Right. And you have a different relationship to all of these. Like for me, I don't care about ghee, but Jill cooks all of Gemma's food with ghee. So is it a little more important? Ghee. I mean,
do you know what it means? Like the clarified butter? Or
not really. No.
Yeah.
Is it less processed?
Yeah. Is it clear? Is it liquid? Is it like it's like white? It's almost like a white cream.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that Gemma's not allowed to have butter, and it's all done with ghee.
So maybe ghee is not butter, but a butter substitute.
Or maybe it's like something. Yeah, maybe. Who fucking
Or it's like
knows?
butter without the bad stuff.
Right. Margarine.
Great name, though.
Ghee.
Ghee. Okay, I have locked in my order of best to worst between Paris, Pop-Tarts, Dentist, Lasso, and Ghee. Let's see if you got it.
I feel like practically you're just going to say Paris is number one because it's an
There's
awesome
no downside
city.
to Paris.
Like, yeah. And it's just the idea of a whole entire city not being as good as Pop-Tarts. It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't ring true.
I think personally, I'd probably go Pop-Tarts over Paris just because I got food poisoning last time I went to Paris. And it's got like, there's not quite that like
it doesn't spark joy,
nostalgic Paris in me because every time I think about it now I'm like, oh yeah, I puked so much when I was there. But that's me. You don't have that experience, and I think if I didn't have that experience, Paris would be above Pop-Tart. So I'm gonna go Paris. I also know that you like going to the dentist.
I do.
I think you enjoy it because like you
get off to that shit.
I remember you being proud of like how deep your pockets were when they do the test.
Oh yeah, my gums.
Yeah. So I know that you enjoy going to the dentist, but I don't necessarily know that you enjoy it more than Pop-Tarts. I think Ted Lasso is going to be last, even though you don't even know what ghee is, even though you are the one that added ghee to the random things list that we use.
It is
so
random.
I'm going to go
It is random to ghee.
Paris, Pop-Tarts, Dentist, Ghee, Lasso.
Wow. You're really close.
Really?
Do you want to do what? In a Wordle, you're green, some yellows, and then greens again.
Oh, interesting. So I guess going to the dentist is number 2. Paris, Dentist, Pop-Tarts, Ghee, Lasso.
That's correct. Paris, number 1, great city. Dentist, 2, because you feel healthy when you leave.
Afterwards, yeah.
Pop-Tarts are fine, but that's where it is, right in the middle. It's not bad. Right. It's not good. It's just a nice tart. Ghee is 4th because I'm not really sure what it is. And Lasso, because I don't love Lasso.
Yeah, because you know what it is and dislike it.
Yeah, which puts it above or below Ghee for sure, which I'm only vaguely familiar with.
Right. Okay, cool. Do you want to give me 5?
Okay, that was pretty close. Okay, I'm going to choose 5 from this list, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And these are words that both of us have come up with.
Right. Random ass things.
A random ass thing generator. I feel like we tried to use AI at first, and then we said, you know what? Ours will be better.
Right. The AI doesn't know to have it be slightly funny.
Yeah. This is a real
Nothing's funnier than Paris.
Paris and Ghee is hilarious. Okay. Are you ready for your 5?
Yeah.
Plain Wi-Fi. Beer. The Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades.
Eating ass.
Yeah.
And lastly, coffins.
Ooh, okay.
I'll put it in the chat so you can see it.
Thank you. All right.
These all have sort of pros and cons to them for sure. Plain Wi-Fi is awesome, but at the same time, it's kind of unreliable and slow. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
And it's like, I almost wish it wasn't there because like I spend half the flight fucking connecting, disconnecting, reconnecting, and trying to get on. But then when it works, it's beautiful because you're just sort of, you can check out the score of a game while you're flying. Otherwise, it's like, I have 15 hours and I wonder what happened. I'll find out when I land. Like that used to be the reality as early as like 10 years ago.
Yeah. I don't want to tip anything, so I'm not going to respond. But what do you think is the pro of coffins?
It helps. It makes it easier to bury the dead. Like otherwise, it's just loose bodies in the ground, which probably is fine, but ultimately not great for you. Like coffins is like respectable. Like otherwise, it's just like, let's have a funeral. There's my great uncle's body, just fucking loose body.
Man.
Ace of Spades is fun to see.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's just a card. Like,
It's
who
just a card.
cares? It's
Why does
just
anybody
a
give a
card.
shit?
Yeah. Beer is nice for some people. I don't like beer, obviously. I would have beer last. Eating ass is fun. It's fun to say. Not for me, but I understand.
Yeah.
Much like beer, like you might like it more than I do.
Right. It's for some.
Yes.
And
I wouldn't want to live in a world without it.
My choices are locked. My choices are absolutely locked.
Okay. So you do like beer, I think. So I almost want to put beer first. It's either beer or eating ass. Fuck it, I'll put eating ass first, beer second. Plain Wi-Fi is good enough to be third. Ace of Spades fourth because it's like a fun card, and coffins you're probably last because like you're like, what's the joy of this? And it kind of reminds me of mortality, which I don't really like.
Dead last, right?
Yeah, dead, literally dead. Okay, so ass, beer, Wi-Fi, card, Ace of Spades, and then coffins last.
Green, yellow, yellow.
Interesting. So I nailed eating ass first and beer second.
That's correct. And those ones I didn't even struggle with. That was the correct order. I don't really love beer these days, but I like still drinking a non-alcoholic IPA.
You appreciate it.
And I appreciate the moment, cracking a beer with somebody, bringing people together. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the last three.
So you might be a plain Wi-Fi hater. You might be one of those guys like, no, I want to disconnect. I want to read. I want to watch a fucking movie. Like, plain Wi-Fi is so annoying. Oh, why it's so slow? Like, that's you.
Yeah. I'd rather just sit on the plane and eat ass.
Why can't I have a beer and an ass?
Am I allowed to have 2 servings of nuts?
On my face. Let's go Ace of Spades third. Coffins fourth, and plain Wi-Fi. Even though it's a great invention, it doesn't work that great, but ultimately you hate it the most, I guess.
Green, brother. I do hate plain Wi-Fi.
I knew it. So that's the order. You have eating ass first,
number
beer
1,
second,
number 2.
You
Ace of Spades.
Ace
I
of
don't
Spades.
really.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's nothing
it's the
to
key
it.
of cards. It's
right,
the
and it's just
Pop-Tarts.
It's better than
things.
coffins.
Yeah.
Really.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, but plain
Coffins
Wi-Fi
fourth.
I think is
What don't you like
Coffins
about
fourth.
plain Wi-Fi? Just the fact that it's unreliable.
Yeah, I don't like that it really. The plane used to be I really am a boomer, but the plane used to be a time where you would like go and you like disconnect. And it's not even about like, I would be fine to not disconnect on the plane if the plane Wi-Fi were just like, you're on, you're still connected, everything is the same. It's like driving.
Yeah.
But like flying becomes so dominated by, is the Wi-Fi on or off?
Yeah.
And it like, you do something in like 3 hours that should take you 15 to 20 minutes. And it's wasn't.
Do you ever eschew the Wi-Fi? You say, no, thank you. I'm not giving Boingo my hotspot cache. Or are you like always like, I'm going to give in. I might as well buy it for the whole flight.
I think I'm a member of the Wi-Fi thing because of my Delta status. I get
the
free
Boingo.
Wi-Fi. Yeah. Delta doesn't use Boingo anymore. It does its own thing.
Proprietary Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So
but
I think
it's still not very good.
Right. But I just get it. So like, there's no reason for me to not log on, but I do hate that I do. So I guess that would be a reason not to.
It's more of a self-loathing thing.
Right. Yeah.
And coffins, necessary.
Necessary. And the coffins actually were a Nantucket family that built a lot of houses there. So there's a lot of like coffin houses on Nantucket.
Oh, a coffin is a person's name?
Yeah. Yeah, the Coffins.
Wow.
It's a very cool last name.
Coffin.
That's right.
It's like Kleenex. It's a brand name.
Oh,
Technically, it's
I don't know
called
if they
a
invented
death
coffins.
box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all coffins are coffins.
That's right. That's right.
Some
They're
of them
very
are
litigious.
just non-proprietary death boxes.
Mm-hmm.
We actually can't say coffin.
Yeah.
Without getting sued.
We'll get a cease and desist on this episode.
Okay. So I think we did pretty good for ourselves.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. We know each other well.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's an all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. You know what Squarespace is. We've been talking about them for years now.
It's true. It's true. With good reason. They're legit.
It's the best way to build a professional-looking, I don't know, portfolio for yourself or a loved one. Maybe an online store. You're looking to hawk some wares.
Yeah, you can earn using Squarespace, folks.
Yes, they even have a new Squarespace AI tool which updates written content on any website. You can even purchase a domain name through Squarespace. Like what's available right now, Jake?
Snapplefax.com. Snapplefax. You have to spell fax, F-A-X.
Got
it's still...
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's still relevant. It's still good.
It seemed
I believe they're still making
original spelling
fax
would be
under
taken.
Snapple.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten
Do they
to
even
Snapple in a
still
while.
sell Snapple? Snapple might be out of business.
No, they have. They're
seen
still
Snapple?
I've seen them around. Yeah.
Okay.
And I bet they still have fax. If you're drinking Snapple and using a fax machine, then goddamn, what an
You're living
awesome
your
era
90s
that you're
life.
stuck in. Yeah. So enjoy that.
Cryingbrian.com.
Crying Brian?
Not crying Brian. That's taken. Cryingbrian.com.
Brian with a Y or an I?
Either or. Neither nor.
They're both not available. What do you want?
They're
from
both
me?
emotionally unavailable, but for sale for sure, for the right price, for the best home.
Amazing.
And you could do it all with Squarespace.
Damn right.
What can you do to get the best deal possible? Well, if you head to squarespace.com/segments, you can save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using that coupon code segments.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to give it a shot? You can get a free trial at squarespace.com/segments. And then when you're ready to launch your show, your website, I should say, you can save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using that code segments.
Gorgeous.
So support them, support us, support yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Squarespace.
Thanks.
All right, we're back. Let's keep the quiz nature of this episode going.
That is correct. So for this segment, I've gotten a couple of Jake and Amir quotes, and I've also written a couple that sound like Jake and Amir quotes, but they are not.
So it's sort of
So
like
I'm
the
going
poetry
to-
or noetry of Jake and Amir quotes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to read a quote to you. You'll tell me, you don't have to tell me which video it's from, but you say, that's a Jake and Amir quote, or that is not.
Okay.
Okay?
I think I'll get these 6 for 6, but let's see.
Okay. None due respect, dude. Fuck your childhood dog. Okay? This is more important.
That's a real one. None due respect, yeah.
Can you finish the quote?
I can't. I don't remember. It was like you're sort of upset about a childhood dog passing away, and I don't give a shit. But I don't remember specifically what episode. No.
Actually, this line is from me. I say to you, none due respect, dude. Fuck your childhood dog. Okay, this is more important. You know, Game of Thorns. This is Game of
Game of
Thongs.
Thongs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
The next quote: jury duty. You get jury duty for that.
I think that's true as well. That does sound familiar. Although now that I think about it, I feel like I've said lawsuit. That's a lawsuit, but I've never said jury duty specifically. Okay, I'll go no. No, that's not a line.
Good thing you changed it. That is not a line. I just made it up.
That's good. Okay.
Okay.
2 for 2.
This apple has fallen very far from the seed.
Fake.
That's true. That is.
That
fake.
one's a real line?
No. Sorry, that's fake.
Is
That's, sorry,
correct.
you're correct. I'm the 69%.
I'm the 69%. Also does not sound familiar. I think I'll say that's also a false fake line that you just made.
That is from Jake and Amir Bus.
Oh, wow. So that is a real one. I got one wrong.
Yes, that's correct.
I say I'm the 69th percent.
Yeah, so it's from Bus. You say, how's your summer been? And I say, fine. And then you say, fine. I knew you'd give a freaking one-word answer, and I knew you'd say fine. And to prove it, I wrote it down on a piece of paper before I left my apartment this morning. Exhibit A. You hand me a piece of paper and I say, this says urinals are for pee-pee, toilets are for doo-doo. And then you say, other side then. And I say, it's a bunch of drafts of one-liners. The last one being, I'm the 69%.
That's a really good joke. I'm glad we thought of it then.
Yeah, I'm the 69%.
Pretty good.
Okay. This the next quote. This team is doing fine. You know who could use a head coach? My ex-girlfriend.
No, that's not real. That's not true.
That is real. That
What?
is from Jake and Amir's Sunday Football.
So I'm telling that to Kelly Hudson or something?
Yeah, I think. Well, the bit is that nobody's laughing at your jokes, and you think that it's because you're delivering them, not me.
Yeah.
And then you hand me a piece of paper, and I read it out loud.
I'm constantly handing you papers. I think that's why it's throwing me. These are all written jokes that I have.
These are all. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't. You didn't speak them. All right, next quote.
Okay.
And time. Congrats, grad. It only took you 2.5 weeks to notice my makeover.
That also feels fake. I mean, and time is for sure real, but I don't think 2.5 weeks to notice my makeover is real.
That's correct. That's a fake quote.
Oh, thank God. I was falling
all right,
there.
2 more.
Okay.
Nobody thought to land on the moon, and then one night we were just there.
That's true. That's
correct.
Business ideas or something like that.
Yes. I think it's from Game Ideas. You're trying to come up with the
Nobody
next
thought
tiny
to land
one.
on the moon.
And then we were there. Like, what are you talking about?
Of course it was thought.
All right, last one. You have a boo-boo? Well, I have a boo-bee. As in boo, now you're afraid of bees.
Wow. Fake.
Correct. That is fake.
I don't like how easy it is for you to come up with them. I guess because you came up with the original. So if anything, this is your time to shine.
Right.
Yeah.
The jury duty and time. It's just like you can just shut your eyes and think of something dumb that you would say.
All right. The real question is, will it ring a bell at all?
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
it was hard to find one, like, because there's so many that are like burned into my brain. I was trying to find some that were like single liners, but that I didn't remember offhand.
Right, and you don't want it to just be like everything about the sentence is true except for the last part.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the 69% was a great one.
Yeah, I did not remember that at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll play again.
Yeah, I think I want to come up with the quotes next.
Hell yeah.
And for more of us reminiscing about Jake and Amir, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/JA. We're watching full episodes. We're doing rewatches.
Exactly. And actually, we've done several hundred at this point. So there's a nice big back catalog for you to burn through. Now's the time.
Yeah. And I feel like we have done Bus, which is weird because I usually would be able to figure that one out.
Yeah, oh my God, there's some really, really problematic jokes in all of these, but definitely the bus, the fortune cookie. There's a great line that I wanted to use, but I was like, well, he'll know because it's so problematic that I wouldn't like just say it. It had to have been something we said 10 years ago.
Otherwise, what's the point of saying it now?
Yeah.
And we'll, of course, be back with another one of these segments podcasts next week.
That's right.
Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. You can see these on YouTube. And we'll be back next week, everybody.
Peace.
Bye for now.
That was a Headgum original.